Guess what, boys and girls? It's story time. And with this story, I'm going to tell y'all, this is the story about when my mom stood up to my dad and he had no other choice but to move out. But when he moved out, they wasn't separated. Oh, why is that hair sticking up, Jesus? Oh my God. But anywho, that hair sticking up. Okay, anywho, he didn't move all the way out. He just stayed over to his sister's house for the weekend till my mom cooled off. Because listen, when I say Mary King put her hands on Clyde King, listen to me. My dad had kept on messing with my mom. But yet still, this is how the story goes. But before we get into the story, like, comment, and share this video. Share this video. Because listen, baby, it's about to go down in this story here. Because my dad knew better than to put his hands on my mom. But yet still, this is what happened. Okay, if you watched the story prior to this, my mom and her best friend June was no joke. My mom and her best friend June was no joke. But my dad would always wait until my mom was doing something. He would start an argument with her for no reason at all. But this particular time he started this argument with my mom kept warning him like, hey, you gonna leave me alone because at the end of the day, you don't want what I got for you. My dad is 6'7". My mom is like 5'5", 5'4". That's it. But listen to me. The kind of attitude that Mary King got, listen to me. My mom is a force to be reckoned with. So in this particular story, my dad was angry. He was mad because A, he couldn't do what he wanted to do. B, it was time for bills to be paid. C, my mom was like the ruler of all rulers. He was not the boss. She made that clear, and he was pissed. He was so pissed. Okay, every Saturday morning, my mom would wake us up at 6 o'clock. When she woke us up at 6 o'clock, she would always make sure that we cleaned up. We would have to wash walls, windows, wash clothes, all this other stuff. My dad totally hated this. But because my mom was the ruler of all evil, she made us do this. Now, keep in mind, my dad was pissed. So this Saturday morning, my mom just got up, turned on all the lights, and she yanked the covers off of my dad. When she yanked the covers off of my dad was pissed. And when I say my dad was pissed, he was so motherfucking pissed. Okay, so because he was pissed off, he jumped out of bed. When he jumped out of bed, Margaret was in the hallway. She told my mom to run. My mom took off down the steps and she told him, she said, motherfucker, you got one more time to try to chase me. She was like, listen to me. I'm tired of your shit. She was like, keep fucking with me if you want to. We're going to clean this house and that's that. When I tell you my dad didn't help us clean up, he did not. He did not move out of that room. He did not help us clean up. But we ended up cleaning up the house anyway and going to the store. But yet still, this is what happened. And because he knew that the house was clean, my dad decided to have a small get-together. Not a big get-together, but a small get-together. Now, he waited until my mom had took us to the store, and he invited his little friends and stuff over. He had the speaker going. He was in the basement. You know what I'm saying? And he was jamming. Now, keep in mind, we came through the front door. My mom seen all the cars in the backyard, and she got pissed off because my dad didn't help us clean up. So my mom went downstairs, and she snatched all the wires out of his stereo, shut the music off. My dad was pissed. You know what I'm saying? So all his friends was downstairs, Willie Divorce included. That he was downstairs too. Soon as my mom snatched the cords out the wall, she told him, get you and your raggedy ass friends and get the fuck out of here. She was like, because you didn't clean up, y'all get ready to make a mess, and I ain't no damn maid. My dad turned to her. He said, you got one more time to say that shit to me again. He said, and I'm going to do you in front of them. He said, get your ass up the steps. My mom kicked she kicked the hole in his speaker. Boom. Soon as she kicked the hole in the speaker, my dad went for my mom. When I tell you he went for my mom knew he was coming. And I don't know if she had prepared herself for this fight. I don't know if she had took karate classes. I don't know if she was a gymnastic star, but my mom was ready for his ass this round. Now keep in mind, my dad had been trying my mom all that week. But listen to me. My mom, Mary King, she was ready for Clyde King. She waited until he grabbed her. When he grabbed her from the back, my mom slipped out of that shirt. When she slipped out, keep in mind, I have to tell y'all this part. My mom has always had super big bitties. My mom got super big bitties. She got them from my grandma, and I got them. Monique got them. Margaret didn't get none, but it's okay because we had enough for her. Okay, but anyway, when she snapped out of that damn shirt, all they saw was a long line bra, and her boobs was shaped like missiles, and it was pointed. It was a pointed bra. Keep in mind, this is the 70s, so it was pointed bra. Okay, so at the end of the day, because he had got the shirt off my mom, he thought he was gonna haul back and hit my mom. When I tell you she went into super overdrive, fast forward on his ass, she did. My mom started windmilling him so bad that all you can hear is she was on his ass. Now keep in mind, he's 6'7", she 5'4". She 5'4". My mom was kicking his ass. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, we was on the steps. We was on steps, root my mom, go, mom, go, go, go. Now keep in mind, my dad looked over at us, and he looked at us like, get upstairs. My mom said, don't talk to my goddamn kids like that. You talk to them like that again, I'm going to punch you in your face. My dad slapped my mom's face. When I tell you, it looked like the world stopped spinning because she snatched that wig off. And when she snatched that wig off, baby, those braids were sitting up like Sealy braids. And honey, she came after Clyde King at that point. Okay, now I got to describe the basement to y'all so y'all understand what it was. When you came down the steps that we were sitting on, my dad had him a stereo that he had invented over there. Because, see, my dad was an engineer. My dad had put together all this stereo stuff. He had every record that was out. I'm going to tell y'all what record was playing. It was Rufus and Shaka Khan. They was playing the Tell Me Something Good song. Or something like this. It had to be, but I know it was Rufus and Shaka Khan because my mom took that album, and when I say she cracked him on top of his head and broke it in half, because my dad was such an ornery little fucker that on the album, she had her legs open. My dad had scratched a triangle in the middle of her legs and made it look like a hoo-ha. And my mom had already been pissed because she had saw this. Now keep in mind, the steps that I'm telling y'all about was to her left. My dad was somehow we knew that my mom was getting ready to run up them steps. We started taking off up the steps because we see my mom when she turned real quick. When she turned real quick, my dad tried to catch her. When he tried to catch her, he scratched her on her back. When he scratched her on her back, she took off up the steps. But all of a sudden, she stopped mid-steps. Knowing that my dad was coming, she stopped in the middle of the steps and she turned around. When she turned around, he was headed up the steps. She was already 6 steps up. When I say my mom leaped off of the steps onto my dad with her legs around his shoulders, and she was laid back like this while her legs was wrapped around my dad's shoulders, honey, she had him in a chokehold with her legs. Because my mom was small, when he came down the steps, she was still attached to him. My mom somehow got from around his legs, and when I tell you, she grabbed a hold to his narcos. She grabbed her, but she knew that he was going to try to kick her. When he tried to kick her, Monique, my mom had a hold to his narcos from the back, and she was holding him and she was pulling him. He couldn't do nothing. Monique came out of nowhere. When I say my sister was the shit, my sister was the shit at 7. My sister came out of nowhere with a frying pan. When I say she came out of nowhere with a frying pan, Monique caught him dead in the center of his head. That's all you heard. My dad fell back. Boom. And that's all she wrote. When I say my mom stomped my dad, honey, baby, she kicked his ass because he was out, because Monique had hit him. Now, keep in mind, Willie Divorce jumped up because he seen that my dad was in trouble. When I say Willie Divorce went up and tried to hit my mom went toe-to-toe because Willie Divorce is small. My mom and Willie Divorce was about the same height. When I say my mom went toe-to-toe with Willie Divorce, my mom took it to Willie Divorce. It was on at that time. When I say it was on, listen to me. Everybody that was downstairs would say it was dead wrong. Now, keep in mind, if you was raised by your mother, you knew if something went on with your mom, you was going to jump in it. Now, keep in mind, we was small. Me, Margaret, and Monique was small. Honey, listen to me. When we see Willie Divorce come out my mom, that's all she wrote for him. Because we jumped on him. Now, keep in mind, we was little kids. You know what I'm saying? But we started, Margaret was biting him. I was pulling. Monique was hitting him. My mom was taking it to him. All my mom kept saying is, you better not hit my kids. You better not hit him. You better not hit him. My mom was trying to move us out the way. My dad came too. When my dad came too, he saw Willie Divorce coming at my mom. Willie Divorce started trying to swing at my mom. My dad caught him from the back and put him in the chokehold. Don't you hit my wife. Now, he's still leaking. He leaking from Monique. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, that just goes to show you, even though he knew he was wrong, he didn't allow nobody to ever disrespect my mom, and he didn't let nobody put their hands on my mother. So at the end of the day, my dad, from that point on, was kind of weary of my mom. But yet and still, I thought I should tell y'all this story because from that point on, my dad was kind of weary of my mom. My dad knew that he couldn't put his hands on my mom. But see, back then, it was okay for men to do that because listen, it just was, they thought it was okay. But when I say my mom stood up for herself all the time, my mom has always, always, always been the same way. So just like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. And you know what I'm getting ready to say. I thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all for watching. And I'll see y'all in my next story. Bye. Now, from that point on, my dad was kind of weary of my mom. My dad knew that he couldn't put his hands on my mom. But see, back then it was okay for for men to do that because, listen, it just was, they thought it was okay. But when I say my mom stood up for herself all the time, my mom has always, always, always been the same way. So just like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. And you know what I'm getting ready to say. I thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all for watching. And I'll see y'all in my next story. Bye.